Hello there, I'm Elimelech, and you might find it amusing that my name means "My God is King," a lofty name for a humble farmer. I live in Bethlehem with my wonderful wife, Naomi, whose name means pleasant. But let me tell you, there's been nothing pleasant about the irony of living in Bethlehem during a famine that has left all our bread bins as empty as a tax collector's heart. Now, as you can imagine, living in a town famed for its bread with not a crumb in sight makes for quite the communal grumble. My neighbors and I have had our fair share of complaints, and if complaining were a competitive sport, I dare say we would have fared better than in our current agricultural endeavors. But humor helps us cope, and we often jest about hosting a feast where the main course is the dust from our fields, seasoned with a pinch of hope. One day, amidst this dire, breadless situation, I said to Naomi, "My dear, maybe the house of bread was just a metaphor lost on us simple folk. Perhaps it's time we seek our fortunes elsewhere." Naomi, ever the practical one, retorted with a laugh, "And where shall we go, my king? Will you part the seas, or should we expect an invitation from the clouds?" Her wit was as dry as our fields, but it sparked a decision in us. After many nights of exaggerated planning sessions that might have rivaled a royal council's strategic meetings, if they were run by farmers and shepherds, that is, we decided to move to Moab. I told my friends, "We're off to Moab, where, rumor has it, people eat meals that involve actual eating and not just reminiscing about food." Packing our belongings was a scene right out of a slapstick play, minus the tripping over. Imagine two middle-aged folks trying to fit a lifetime of belongings into a couple of donkeys who seemed more interested in the non-existent grass than in our logistic challenges. As we set out, I couldn't help but feel the weight of our decision. We were leaving our home to escape a famine, stepping into the unknown, driven by the wild hope that somewhere, even just across the Jordan, life could be different. And so, with a heart full of fear, feet full of dust, and a donkey load of belongings, we headed towards Moab, ready for whatever absurd adventures awaited us. Our arrival was anything but subtle. Imagine the scene. Two wide-eyed Judeans and their stubborn donkeys, which I swear chose the middle of a busy Moabite market to demonstrate their best impersonations of statues. Perhaps they're contemplating converting to the local religion? I joked to Naomi, who only rolled her eyes, her patience wearing as thin as our provisions bag. The cultural blunders began almost immediately. On our first day, I tried to compliment a Moabite merchant on his fine produce. What I intended as "your vegetables are as splendid as the king's gardens" came out more like "your vegetables are surprised at the garden." The merchant, puzzled yet amused, chuckled and offered us a sample of his goods. On the house. Naomi and I shared a look. Maybe our blunders could be more fruitful than we thought. Our days filled with attempts at farming their strange crops and evenings trying to decipher Moabite cooking techniques, which often resulted in meals that were comical experiments rather than edible feasts. Naomi, ever so inventive, managed to turn each culinary disaster into a humorous tale to share with our new neighbors. "Who knew that lentils could be used as a substitute for stones in building walls?" she'd laugh, serving another batch of overly hardened bread. Despite these misadventures, there was warmth in Moab. Our neighbors, once they got past our peculiarities, embraced us with open arms. They shared not only their meals but also their stories, allowing us to see beyond our differences. In this foreign land, Naomi and I found a new community, one that laughed at our follies but also lent a hand when our crops failed or our spirits waned. As days turned into months in Moab, Naomi and I carved out a small piece of this foreign land for ourselves. We began to find rhythm in the unexpected, and our days were filled with the kind of peculiar joys that only come from adapting to a new home. Every morning I would wander through our modest plot of land, marveling at how the soil here, so different from Bethlehem's, could yield such strange and wonderful crops. "Look, Naomi," I'd say, holding up a bizarrely shaped vegetable. "It seems even the plants here dance to their own tune." Naomi, ever the realist, would chuckle and reply, "Let's just hope they dance their way into being edible." We attended local festivals which were a riot of color and noise, quite unlike anything in our quiet town back home. I remember one particular festival where the locals performed a play so dramatic and over the top that I whispered to Naomi, "If our lives back home were this dramatic, we might have never left." She squeezed my hand and laughed, reminding me that our lives now had enough drama for a lifetime of tales. One evening, under a canopy of stars, so different from those over Bethlehem, we sat with our new friends, sharing stories of our homeland. I found joy in telling tales of Bethlehem, each one sprinkled with a bit of humor and nostalgia. Back in Bethlehem, we'd pray for rain to grow wheat, I joked. But here, we pray for the rain to stop so we can see the sun again. Our friends roared with laughter, the sound blending seamlessly with the night's chorus. Naomi and I often reflected on our journey. We came here to escape famine, but we found more than just food, I mused one night. We found a new family. Naomi nodded, her eyes reflecting the firelight. Yes, and every new family member has taught us something about kindness, resilience, and the universal language of laughter. Our time in Moab was not without its challenges, but each difficulty was met with a shared smile or a humorous quip, turning obstacles into opportunities for laughter. As I looked around at the faces of our Moabite friends, so different yet so familiar, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell to stay updated. Share this video with friends and family, and check out our other videos for more inspiring tales. See you in the next one.